Most historians concur that the enslaved black people of America, in particular, during the centuries of chattel slavery, were bred like livestock. But for those who don't know this history, let us revisit this monumental book, From Slavery to Freedom. And it states, there was always a fear that the supply of slaves would become exhausted while the demand was still great. One of the ways in which the slaveholders guarded against this distressing eventuality was the systematic breeding of slaves, one of the most fantastic manipulations of human development in the history of humanity. Despite the denials and apologies of many students of the history of American slavery, there seems to be no doubt that innumerable slaveholders deliberately undertook to increase the number of saleable slaves by advantageously mating them and by encouraging prolificacy in every possible way. As early as 1796, a South Carolina slaveholder declared that the 50 slaves he was offering for sale were purchased for stock and breeding. In 1832, Thomas R. Dew admitted that Virginia was a Negro raising state and that it was able to export 6,000, in this case, slaves per year because of breeding. One respectable Virginia planter, meaning plantation owner, boasted that his women were uncommonly good breeders and that he never heard of babies coming so fast as they did on his plantation. Of course, the very gratifying thing about it was that every one of them was worth $200 the moment it drew breath. Now, it states here that the breeding of slaves was one of the most fantastic manipulations of human development in the history of humanity. So don't tell me as a black man that the Chinese were enslaved to build railroads, but they still kept their names Ching-Wan Chow and their customs, and they were not bred. You all want to make our plight here in chattel slavery. You didn't serve like we served. Hell no. You didn't serve like we served this monster and beast. Most of us today are products of being bred on the plantation. So damn it, your history ain't like ours. So back up, Jack. Including white folks. Don't tell me people were enslaved here, people were enslaved there. Well, there was other people, but not like you. And to hear black people talk about that, but I understand you got your slave master's name still, which shows you the great job he did on us. But I defy any of you to compare your plight with ours. That's why God comes to redeem us and raises the Messiah, and we are the foundation of his eternal kingdom, not you. You become part of it as a part of us if you choose to.